As we wrap up our time, just a couple of questions about the budget and revenues for the state. You've called for a 911 fee to modernize the state system from, as you say, analog to digital, a clean drinking water fee for poor communities with dirty water, and you've said you want the state individual health insurance mandate and penalty to replace the federal one. A lot of regular Californians, regardless of what a court would say, a lot of regular Californians would call those tax increases. Can Californians afford this?
Yeah, I don't think we can afford not to modernize our emergency communications. The fact that for seniors, people with mobility impairment, the lack of access to geospatial, GPS technology, the ability for first responders to get location mapping done because of our old analog system is an embarrassment, candidly. And by the way, there's been efforts in the past, none of this is novel. There were efforts in previous administrations to do exactly this. They fell short. We're trying to get it done. On the issue of safe drinking water, you have close to 1 million people that don't have it. There's Flint, Michigans all across California. That's unacceptable. I don't think we can afford to live a good life in an unjust society, as Aristotle said. And there's no injustice, or no justice rather, when people can't bathe, let alone drink water, and they're still paying for that water more than they are in Beverly Hills. And I think there's been efforts in the past that I picked up on, not new again, that I want to see if we can get across the finish line. So on both those issues, I feel like previous administration was on the right track. I want to see if I can help accomplish those things. And ultimately on the broader issue of individual mandate, Trump administration has vandalized the Affordable Care Act. I think the Affordable Care Act is overwhelmingly supported by Californians. I want to put it back together. I think that's an appropriate response, and to the extent that people need subsidies, what's so significant about the individual mandate, the third leg of the stool, is that we're able to deepen subsidies into the middle class, expand them rather into the middle class and deepen them for people of low-income means. So there's a direct correlation there to affordability and access. But I can assure you this, without the mandate, healthcare premiums for everybody begin to go up, and I don't think we can afford that.
Why not do some of the new revenue increases out of the general fund? You projected a $21 billion surplus in January.
Well, we need to pay down pension obligations. We need to pay off all of our debt. I want to pay off 100% of our debt. I want to begin to aggressively pay out pension obligations where there's a huge return on that investment. A historic rainy day reserve, because I want to make sure we're ready for an economic downturn. I want to be wise and thoughtful about one-time surpluses being used for one-time investments, and there's a distinction there. We put together, I think, a very thoughtful budget that was fairly well received by all sides of the political aisle. I was pleased that more conservative-minded people thought there were aspects that made sense. More progressively-minded people liked the investments in preschool and keeping the costs of education, higher education, flat by investments in higher education and child care programs, obviously health care, expanding not just the opportunities as it relates to the ACA, but reimbursement rates for more early childhood screenings and the like. So I think you'll see that reflected in the May revise and that same kind of discipline, but same kind of progressive framework of investment. I think the budget is well equipped to address, but I think if you start adding all these other things, these ongoing expenses, using one-time money, you're going to end up back to where we were. And with all due respect, I'm not willing to go back to the bad old days of budgeting. I like what Governor Brown did, and the new approach to budgeting, we want to build on that.